Hello, everyone. Don't know how it is going to be. We are live from Mariner of the Seas. Let me know if everything looks all right and you guys can hear me. You're out there. We are officially live. The internet on Mariner of the Seas has been spectacular, so I figured we would try this, see how it goes. We could do a short chat tonight. So how is everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing okay? What's everybody up to? Did everybody make it through Hurricane Lee okay? Hey, Paul. Welcome aboard. How's the audio and video and everything? Is it all right? Hi, Brenna. Tony Diaz. Hello, sir. Hi, Sana. Hello, Barbara. Hi, everyone. I can't spin the wheel today because I don't have the wheel with me, but I'll give you a rundown of the book of the day. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it. So the book we are going to be giving away, thanks, Anna, is Cloisters, The Cloisters by Katie Hayes this week. Thank God, Paul. Yeah, I'm glad. It looked like it skirted most of the place except for Halifax. So this book, The Cloisters, actually pretty cool. I didn't know if I was going to like it. It's about a young girl who goes to work at a museum and falls into a bunch of tarot card and occult things. Pretty interesting. I am about halfway through it, so we'll give this bad boy away. I will spin the wheel when I get back, but you know the deal. If you would like to be in the running for the book, just let me know. Otherwise, if you were in the running last week, I'm just going to leave those same people up there. Obviously, except for the last two people that won, which was Lori, and I forget who won last week. Who won the book last week? It was Vicky. That's right. Vicky won the book. Yeah, Tony, great call. I couldn't fit the wheel into my luggage. So it's really funny. I never check luggage at the airport or to go on cruises, right? I always carry on my luggage. But when I go by myself and I'm flying, I have a whole bunch of like video stuff, right? So I usually have a backpack and my luggage. And for some reason, I just couldn't make it work this time. So I had to shove everything in and check my luggage. And my luggage came very late at night. But it's all good. Paul Mariner is delightful. The ship is great. Vlogs are going to start coming out tomorrow, I think. The first night wasn't terrible. The captain came on and said that it looked like we were going to be able to get to Bermuda, and it was going to be okay, but we were going to have some rough seas, and he was not kidding. So I went to the captain's chat today, and I learned something really interesting about seasickness and everything. So I always knew side to side isn't too bad for seasickness. It's generally like a rocking feeling, which is okay. It might affect some people. But the up and down is the rough one, which I already knew. But the captain was saying that it's not so much the up and down. It is up and down. But it's the length of time that you're up and then down that makes the seasickness worse. So we were hitting, the waves we were hitting were 12 seconds. So it was a 12-second incline and then a sharp decline, which screws with your ear, nose, and throat system, since I can't figure out the words I wanted to say. But so Santa, I have a funny thing in my vlog this week about this stupid C-bands that I thought these C-bands worked really well, and I don't even know why I still have them on. They did not work, not at all. I always thought because I used to get seasick a lot, and I don't that much anymore, thank God. But I was like, boy, these sea bands must really work. They don't. I got super sick on the second day. Barbara, I saw your, if you run out of books, you could do the Starbucks mug. That's actually a really good idea. I did grab one of the Mariner ones. I will start doing that. That's actually a great idea. I'll start buying the Starbucks mugs. I'll buy extra ones and we can give them away. Tony Diaz, overpacker. I'm actually really good. I do not overpack. I'm an underpacker. I pack like just enough shirts, just enough dress shirts, just enough t-shirts, and all the other things that you need. So I'm not an overpacker. But for this one, I don't know why. I knew I was doing chef's table, so I packed a suit. Yeah, Brenna, up and down, 12 seconds was not fun at all. No, Santa, I'm kidding. I don't know. I think maybe they work if it's like not bad at all. I will, if it's like mild, maybe it does help a lot. Maybe that's why I haven't gotten seasick. But it was so bad. Like I said, the night we left wasn't terrible. I went to Jamie's Italian the night we left. I felt fine. It was moving a lot, but I didn't feel sick. Sleeping was a little bit rough. You were really like lurching. You could feel like your body pulling back and forth because we were going up and down so drastically. And I'm in the back of the ship. So the next day is when I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm not feeling great. I went to breakfast and I was like, I'm going to push through it. I should be all right. And I started getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I was like, this isn't good. And then I did break down and took Bonine. So I always bring Bonine with me. And then Bonine does have meclizine in it. It's just not a prescription one. And I brought meclizine and Zofran. Zofran supposedly is not supposed to work for seasickness. I have it just in case I get really bad. But meclizine 1,000,000% works. I took the Bonine. I went and sat out on deck 4, which is like where the wraparound is, where you can walk around. And I just sat out there in a beach chair and put my head back and stared at the horizon for a couple hours. And by the time I went to chef's table, I felt better. The Bonine really helped. I took a nap out there. And then, it's just like everything else. If you occupy yourself and go to a show or do something, it affects you less than if you're just sitting there thinking about it and getting anxiety about it. I'm not on the lower deck. I'm on deck 9. I did go to the lower decks. One of the funny things about seasickness is that's kind of, so the side-to-side motion, the lower deck thing kind of works for, because obviously if you're on the higher decks, you're pitching, you're pitching and rolling for more from side to side. When it's going up and down, I don't think there's any escape. I went to the casino. I wasted some money in the casino. I tried everything. But luckily by first day of Bermuda, when we were cruising into Bermuda, it had calmed down, thank God, and we were good to go. Tony, the green apples do help. I saw a lot of people eating green apples. I was drinking ginger ale. I try, I'm going to throw everything at the wall. If I'm not feeling good, I did ginger ale. I did green apples. I'll eat those ginger candies. I'll do anything. If somebody tells me like to walk backwards on deck 3, I'll try it, whatever. I don't want to feel sick. But the ship is beautiful. I love this. This is my favorite of the Voyager class ships. It's been a blast. I like that there's a lot more to do than adventure or explore. I love that they have playmakers. I love the bamboo room. It's been a great cruise. Apparently about 800 people canceled the week of because of the hurricane, which sucks for them because if they don't have insurance, like really good insurance, you're not getting your money back. But I'm happy the ship is not crowded at all. If you watch any of the vlogs, you'll see that the ship is like, I think there's like 2,600 people on board. So it's not too bad at all. It's really nice. Also, I saw Jason, I think his name's Jason from Travel Scouts is on here with his wife and daughter, I think. I wanted to go up to him the one morning and say hi, but he was just eating breakfast with his daughter, and I don't want to bother him. So I will talk to him before the end of the cruise. Tony, correct. Losing money and seasickness is not fun, and I chucked some money into the casino. But I will say I saw apparently this is a big like slot tournament cruise, which I didn't know. But on the first night, one of the guys won the slot tournament. He won $35,700. Not a bad deal. Oh, my other funny thing about the casino. So when you are playing in the casino on Royal or any other cruise, whatever, you get points for all the money you're spending, right? So I don't know how to roughly equate the points. But on day 2, I was down there in the casino when I wasn't feeling well, and I was playing. I think I put $100 in, and I had like 40 points. And then by the end of, I won like a few times, 30 or 40 or $50, and then put it back in. 35K is unreal, Brenna. I agree. So I only put $100 in, but with all my winnings and losings again, I probably played about $250. So I had about 80 points. The lady next to me on day 2 had 11,000 points already, just from this cruise. 11,000 points. How much money is that? Did she spend $20,000 in the casino in 2 days? It's unbelievable. Hey, Miles, COVID on the rise again. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's been pretty, COVID's COVID at this point. I think there's no escaping it. It's going to be very similar to the flu and norovirus, of things that you can get anywhere, traveling or on a cruise ship or anything like that. So I haven't heard anything on COVID on this one. There hasn't been any outbreaks, because you will hear about it as things go on. There hasn't been any noro or COVID for that matter. I think it's just going to be like somewhere, this is the first, I think it's the first cruise I've been on since the end of the pandemic. I haven't seen one person wearing a mask. So I think it's the first time. Usually, like in the beginning, like last in October, November, December of 2021, it was like 50-50 people wearing masks. And then all through 2022, there was a good number of people wearing masks. You saw people wearing them and some staff. I haven't seen one person on this cruise with a mask on. Young, old, nothing. Nobody's got masks on. And like I said, it's not that crowded, so... and I don't hang out in big crowds anyway, so I generally don't get overly concerned with the flu or COVID at this point, or noro. There's nothing you can do. If you get sick, you get sick. If you're going to cruise or go out, something's going to happen at some point. Yeah, Tony, she hasn't been in her cabin. She's been in the casino, literally. I mean, that was like 15, 16 hours into the cruise. Or maybe 20 hours into the cruise, and she had 11,000 points already. I don't know, maybe she got extra. I have no idea, but God bless her. She is definitely going to be getting a suite on another cruise. I wanted to ask her, like, how much? Obviously, I wouldn't ask her how much money, but like, how often are you down here? But otherwise, the ship's beautiful. It looks like it's in great shape. It looks in better shape than Adventure. I was on Adventure last year. Brenna, need to get into gambling. So, Brenna, here's the big secret of gambling on a cruise. You don't need to get into gambling on cruises to get a free or discounted cruise, because you're just paying for the cruise. So, here's the real truth of it, right? I played $100, and then I probably played another $50 or $60 since then, right? So, for the year, I'm prime, which means I have 2,500 points for the year. She had 11,000 in the first day. So I get free drinks in the casino, which is nice. And then the big deal is, like, in order to get like a free complimentary inside cabin, you have to gamble $1,000 on the cruise. At a minimum, I would say. $1,000 to $1,500 to get like an inside cabin. And it's probably more. It's probably up in the like $2,000, I would say. So just book it, pay for a cruise. It's cheaper. Now, here's the thing: if you enjoy gambling and you like playing the slots, or you like playing roulette or craps, that's fine. You have the money to do it, and you enjoy it, and you get a free cruise because you're paying for that entertainment, more power to you. My sister does. She gambles a decent chunk, and she got an Aqua Class suite on Celebrity for next year. So she enjoys it, and it's all good. I see a lot of people down there, and they love it. My only complaint about the casino is that, in typical Royal fashion, except for on the Oasis Class ships, it's super smoky. So it has been super smoky. Tony, that's the snarkiest comment I've ever seen without any context. You also get free slot play, $2 to $6. 100%. I had $6, so there you go. That is 2 spins on the old Wheel of Fortune wheel. But yeah, if you like gambling, I like playing crap sometimes. And if I'm with some friends, it's fun. Yeah, my sister is prepaying her next cruise. You're exactly right. Wow, Fred, that's crazy. She gets weak and can't walk. So that's awful. That is not a good seasick thing. I would definitely bring meds. That's not fun. I was glad I brought meds on this one. It's the first time I've taken anything in since I went on NCL Pearl. So that was April of 22, and I'm on a cruise just about every month. So that's about 17 cruises ago. It's the last time I had to take any medicine for seasickness. So the last 16 or 17 cruises have been totally fine. Brennan, you could always do NCL. NCL on the bigger ships has just a glassed-in room for the smokers. And now on the Oasis Class ships, they have a non-smoking casino. So where the Jazz Club used to be, they made that a non-smoking casino. So you do have options. Again, you don't need to gamble. There's no need to gamble. It is fun. It's fun to hang out down there. It's usually like a more party, fun crowd down there. And it was fun watching some of like the football games on Sunday down there. And then it's great having playmakers because they have all the football and everything on. Everybody's got their jerseys on out there watching the games. Yeah, Barbara, I asked about it. There is no clear answer. I asked as soon as I got on the ship. There's no clear answer on it. So no one from Royal seems to know. But I'll look into it more. I'll ask my rep. I'm going to take a note real quick to ask my rep. Swimming with dolphins. And I had a bunch of clients on the Greenland cruise. They got stuck in New York for a few days. And also I talked to Peter, who's usually in here. They're on Emerald Princess. They're having a great cruise. They went up north and they said it's been great so far. They're having a great time. A little bit of rain. But otherwise, everything's been really, really good. Anybody have questions about the ship, about Mariner of the Seas? Anything that I didn't mention? I'll go through kind of the food and stuff so far. I've eaten at night one. I ate at Jamie's, which everyone knows I love Jamie's. It was very good. It's in the Windjammer. So when you walk into the Windjammer, Jamie's is on your left, Chops is on your right, and then you go back into the buffet. The buffet's been very empty. I've eaten in the buffet a few times, which is rare for me. But it's been very quiet and empty, so that's been lovely. I've eaten in the main dining room for breakfast and lunch, and that's been very good. I ate at Chef's Table on night 2, and from a food perspective, it's been the best Chef's Table I've ever done. I've done it on Enchantment, Symphony, and Oasis. And this is the best iteration of Chef's Table from a food perspective. It's in the dining room, and there's a little middle section between 4 and 5, and it's a private little table there. And there was only 12 people. I don't even think there was 12. 2, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there was 11 because I'm by myself. So there was 11 people. I got to sit at the head of the table. It was really, really nice. The food was really great. And then I ate at Izumi Hibachi. That was a hilarious experience because I had a 5:30 reservation, and Hibachi is usually packed, and there was nobody there. I had to wait until the 6 o'clock reservation to have dinner at Hibachi, and it was not a fun experience because I mean it's always fun, but it was it's just unfortunate that I had to wait. But the couple that I wound up eating with were really, really nice. So that was great. And then I think that's all my specialty. I'm going to eat at Chops tomorrow. And then tomorrow we are in Nassau, and then Friday we are at Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Today's the sea day. So Fred asked what kind of things are there to do on the cruise. So Mariner's got a lot to offer for being one of the older, smaller ships. It's not a small ship by any means. I think it's considered like a mid-sized ship at this point. So you have the Royal Promenade, obviously, so there's shopping to do there. There's Playmakers, which is a sports bar, which is a lot of fun. There's the Bamboo Room, which is a little tiki bar, which is actually really cute and fun. There's a British pub. In the British pub, they do live music every night. There's usually an acoustic guitarist in there. He's great. He's been great. You have your traditional royal thing. So on deck 4 is the Schooner Bar. So they do piano, kind of like they take all kinds of piano requests. That starts around 8:45 at night. It's probably where I'm going to go tonight. There is an ice skating rink, so you can ice skate, and which is so much fun. If my back wasn't bad, I would have been ice skating. And there is an ice show, so it's called Under the Big Top. You can go to that. There are production shows in the theater every night. So there's singers and dancers. There was a juggler on night 1. I have no comment on the juggler. There are comedians. Most of the shows are singing and dancing. Last night, the vlog from yesterday is really good. It was this guy called Dario El Gaucho. He plays guitar. I posted something on Instagram about it today. That guy was fantastic. He plays these, it was like bolos, like the balls on a rope. Plays those like an instrument. It was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. And then they do your typical game show, cruise game shows. They do Love and Marriage. They do, it's like the honeymooners game where you come out with they have a young newlywed couple, middle couple that's been married like 25 years, and then a couple that's been married today was 65 years. It's incredible. And they ask them risque, funny questions, and they switch. They ask the men and they ask the women. They try to get them right. That's really fun. They do Crazy Quest, which is one of the greatest game shows you will see. I don't want to give anything away, but if you're ever on a cruise on Royal Caribbean, you get to see Quest. I'm going to do that tonight at 10 o'clock. And then, they do a bunch of fun things on the promenade. There's like a 70s party, an 80s party. Last night was a country line dance party. They do a veterans parade. They did that today. That was really nice. Trying to think what else I missed. There's a bunch of restaurants. They do pool parties up on the deck. They do your typical kitschy pool stuff up there, like the belly flop contest, the sexiest man, the hairy legs competition, all those traditional things. There's miniature golf up there. There's a surf simulator, flow riders up there. There's tons of things to do. Basketball, pickleball, which is the, old white people rage all of a sudden. I don't know how that happened. But I was watching people play pickleball. It's hilarious. Yeah, Brenna, it's, I really try to stay positive on all of these. People complain. I mean, it's so crazy to hear people complaining. Hey, Jimmy, saw you at a group of 6 getting on Joy a few weeks ago when we were disembarking. I hope you had a great time. We had a great time on Joy. It was very crowded. It was a little too crowded and the internet stunk. Like Starlink, let's go, people. But otherwise it was great. I hope you guys had a great time. Yeah, you can. I announce all the time what cruises we're going on. So if anybody wants to join us, you don't have to book through us or anything. You're welcome to come and join us for any cruise. It's a lot of fun. We'll buy you, if you're coming on the same cruise as us, we'll buy you a t-shirt, one of our cruise, custom cruise t-shirts, and you can join us. Hey, Greg. Good to see you here. Glad you're having a good time on the Mariner. Looking forward to the Bite-Sized Cruises on Ice podcast. Yeah, if my back wasn't bad, I would hilariously do something from the ice skating rink. Paul said, good to hear they recognize the veterans. They do, and they did a really good job. They not only did they do like a parade for the veterans, they played the like theme song for each individual branch of the military. They recognized each one, even Space Force, Air Force, Space Force, Army, Navy, Marines, even the Coast Guard, everything. It was really, really nice. Yeah, Fred, there's tons to do even on this ship. Now, keep in mind, I do love the Oasis class ships. I say it in one of my vlogs this week. I love having too much to do. I want all the things to do. So, but this Mariner in particular on the Voyager class, this is my favorite, like, smaller iteration of a Royal ship because there is so much to do. There are places I haven't eaten yet that I'm going to get to this week, like Johnny Rockets and the Doghouse. I forgot that there was a Doghouse. I found that today. I walked by it, and I knew that it was there, but I had just forgotten it was there. The solarium is really nice. It is not enclosed, but it is nice. There are not a lot of kids on this sailing. Obviously, there are, probably a few hundred, but not anything crazy considering school just went back in, and this is an 8-day cruise, which is a little bit longer. And Bermuda was beautiful. The weather was great while we were in Bermuda. And we did a lot of fun things in Bermuda. I did an excursion that was great. I did the shopping and sightseeing Hamilton tour. That was great. I'm doing an excursion tomorrow in the Bahamas. My other tour got canceled. My other excursion got canceled in Bermuda. Not enough people signed up. I was doing the Swizzle Me Up a rum bus tour. Got canceled. So I just wandered around in Bermuda. And then I'm doing a culinary tour tomorrow in the Bahamas. And then I'm winging it on Perfect Day, and I'm going to go try to sneak over to the adults only area and get some video. Fred, if you like to eat, this ship specializes in food. Amen, Tony. 5-star meal at the Doghouse. Actually, when I'm on Oasis or any of those Oasis class ships, I love the Doghouse. I love getting like a bratwurst with like sauerkraut. I'm telling you, underrated. I'm a foodie, and I love me some hot dogs. I had a burger tonight from room service because I was getting ready to do the live stream. So I didn't go anywhere fancy tonight. I just did room service. Got a burger and some chicken soup, and it was really good. Everything's been great. But yeah, Fred, if you love to eat, there are great food options on this ship. Greg Clementi, great time of year to cruise as long as you can dodge the storms. Amen to that. It is, we didn't quite dodge this one. We almost did. The captain said he almost changed the itinerary, almost flipped it. But last minute he decided to go through the storm a little bit, but it wasn't, believe me, it was nothing. Scott said, fiance is considering a cruise wedding. What are your thoughts on Royal for cruise weddings? Scott, they do a great job. I did 2 last year. I did 2 royal weddings. I had 2 couples that did them. One was like 20 people, one was like 100 people. So really, really nice. You could do something small, like if you get married on one of the islands, you could do something small like that. Or you could do something on the ship. If you're going to do it on the ship, I would lean Oasis class. But yeah, I'm happy to shoot me an email at jp@bitesizedcruises.com, and I will give you a bunch of information. It's a great experience, and they do a really good job. It's an outside company that runs it. It's not Royal Caribbean. It's called Royal Events, which is ironic, but they run all the weddings and they do a great job. Very accommodating. It's awesome. Yeah, Tony Doghouse. I'm telling you, there are little things sometimes that are really, people don't don't pick up on that are really good. Like the doghouse on this one has been really quiet. And I'm not a huge fan of Johnny Rockets. I like the idea of Johnny Rockets, but in execution it's never great. So it's like American Diner on NCL, which I think is a little bit better. But yeah, there are some like hidden gems sometimes on the ships that are not expensive and they're good. Doghouse is free, so nothing like a good free meal. But yeah, all the food options on this ship, there's more than any of the other Voyager class. So you have Jamie's Italian, you have Izumi Sushi, Izumi Hibachi, you have Chops, you have obviously the chef's table, which I did. If you can swing it, it's really good. I didn't, they give you wine with every course, and I'm not a big drinker, so I had a little bit of each of the glasses of wine, and then they give you an espresso martini at the end. So if you don't have the drink package, chef's table is a good way to get 5 glasses of wine, a glass of champagne, and an espresso martini, and a really good meal. So it's like a 6-course meal. Not a bad way to spend your day, and that's always on the 2nd night and the 6th night. So the 2 like dress your best nights. Like tonight is the last formal night because tonight is lobster night, and I ordered room service. So look at me. I did see that Carnival is now charging for 3rd entrees. So if you're on Carnival. Greg asked, how does the food compare to Princess ships? It's pretty... My thing with Royal is, I think, from a company standpoint, I think Norwegian and Princess do free food probably a little bit better. I'm talking about like main dining room food. I think Norwegian and Princess are probably a little bit better than Royal in the main dining room area. Just my opinion. Food is very subjective, so that's my opinion. On when it comes down to paid food or specialty dining, the food on Royal is just as good as anything you're going to eat on Princess. The specialty dining are all very, very, very good. I've never had a bad... I don't think I have. I've never had a bad meal at any of the specialty dining. Paul, what's the fun pass? What do you mean? Trying to think of what's the fun pass? Did I miss something on Seascape? I hope not. But the food on Princess is really good. I mean, pizza's really good on Princess. Yeah, free food on Princess is great. The free food on Royal is good. To me, where Royal really shines is those like other one-offs, like the Doghouse and things like that, where it's like they catch you where you're not paying attention. The Cafe Promenade is great for just little snacks and stuff. The one thing with Royal is that like there is just an overwhelming amount of food available. So there's always something where you can go get some food. Like you can go to Cafe Promenade almost till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and they'll have snacks out, cookies, cakes, everything's free, complimentary, including your cruise fare, whatever. And then the Doghouse is open like during the day, and then there's always like little hot spots to grab food. Like Norwegian has the local, which is open 24 hours pretty much, too. But there are certainly more food options on Royal than any other cruise line that are included in your cruise fare. But I am going to try all of the specialty dining here. It's just an 8-day cruise, so I'm not going to eat. I don't want to like double up on the specialty dining for no reason. It doesn't make any sense. I'm happy to eat whatever other foods. But tomorrow, hopefully the weather, it's supposed to be a little nasty in the afternoon in Nassau, so I don't know how my culinary tour is going to go. But hopefully that'll be good. And then hopefully the weather's nice at Perfect Day. Because I think that's the last time I'm going to be at Perfect Day until Icon in March. Because my next my next cruise after this is NCL Escape. Then I have Carnival Venezia in November, and then I have Carnival Jubilee and Carnival Horizon in January and February. So yeah, I think this is going to be my last trip to Perfect Day until the adults only area is open. So I did make that mistake in my Sunday news, which I put a comment underneath. I said that there wasn't going to be a charge because initially there wasn't going to be a charge for the adults only area on Perfect Day. But now there is, and it's just like everything else on Royal where it's going to vary by, supply and demand. So I booked it. I jumped on yesterday and booked it for my March Icon cruise, and it was $79 for the Hideaway, which is the new adults only area at Perfect Day Coco Cay or Coco Key, whatever you prefer. So we shall see how that goes. I hope it's great, but I know it's everyone's up in arms that you have to pay for it. But I think moving forward with Royal, everything's going to be a pay to play option. They're really moving the Disney. They're really going the Disney route, where I think their cruises are going to start being kind of more expensive, higher end, like Disney, and you're going to pay for a bunch of different inclusions. They're making money. I get it. So Jimmy said a little disappointed Cagney's last week. I did not. So I go back and forth between Chops and Cagney's as like the better steak place, and Butcher's Cut on MSC. I think Cagney's and Chops are both a little better than Butcher's Cut. I didn't have a great meal at Cagney's when I was on there. The problem with Cagney's, and specifically on Joy because it was so crowded, it was so packed that it took forever to get our food. The waiter was running around, he was sweating. It wasn't the best experience I've ever had at Cagney's. So yeah, I would say probably a little bit disappointed, but again, I try to make it was still better than like the steak in the buffet. I had a steak in the buffet here the other night, and it was like razor thin. It was like a piece of steak that you would get on cheesesteak. But it's Cagney's is usually very good, but it was very crowded and it wasn't as good as it usually is. Paul said the Fun Pass is for Formula One, video games, and the XD Cinema. Great question, Paul. So on Seascape, when we were on there, the Formula One car was down for the week. So that little area up there was broken. It's right across from like the basketball court there. The XD Cinema is a blast. We had a lot of fun in there. We played the little shooting games in there, but I think that was only like $10 to do that. I think the Formula One is $15 maybe. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do this a couple times, that makes a ton of sense. For $80, if you can do it as much as you want. And the XD Cinema, there's like 3 or 4 different games. So if you did one of those a day, and then a bunch of video games, I would like if they had a video game. If there was like a traditional arcade, like Virgin has, like an old school arcade, theirs is free. But if they had like a traditional arcade where it wasn't like, now it's just all trying to get tickets and points. So it's a lot of those games of chance instead of like old school video games. If they had like an old school video game one, I would do that for sure. Yeah, Greg, unfortunately, the upcharges and pay-to-play options are 100% the biggest complaint I hear from everyone when I talk about cruises or, when customers call me to talk about things. That's why a lot of people are going towards Virgin. It's a little more of an all-inclusive option, but I love Royal Caribbean. I love Norwegian. I love Princess. I love all the other cruise lines. It's just getting to the point where you're just going to have to pick and choose what you want to do. I really wish that there would be an all-inclusive option or something close. I know Princess scaled back. I know Celebrity took gratuities out of their, their all-included package, which I don't think makes any sense. To me, like, if I literally, I think I didn't pay anything for this cruise. This was a casino one. Me talking about the casino ones. I had a couple cruises earlier in the year where I was with some friends and we played in the casino a decent amount. So this is an inside cabin. It was free. But like for Norwegian Escape I have coming up, I paid $2,000, $2,100 for a studio cabin, and for the free at sea, which includes the drink package and a specialty dining credit. So, and I paid that for me, Meg, and AJ. So it's $6,300 or whatever for us to go on that cruise. So I would rather pay $3,500 if you told me I'm all in. So I have the private islands included, whatever goes on in the private island. On that one, it doesn't matter because we're going up north. So we get a $50 shore excursion credit for each port, which is great. So if you said for $3,500, you're going to get the premium drink package, right, which covers all your drinks except for Johnny Walker Blue or like Louis. You're going to get streaming internet for one. I don't even care if it's one device. It's streaming internet for one device. And gratuities are included, Wi-Fi gratuities, and like 2 or 3 specialty dining. I would rather pay that than get on the ship and then be like, okay, well, if you want to go here, it's going to be another. Like even I went to Hibachi the other night, and I have a dining package, right? So I paid for 3 specialty dining credits. When you go to Hibachi, it's an extra $15. Norwegian actually did away with that, which is great. You pay what you pay. But like everything, there's like this subtle little upcharge now. Greg said cruise line will continue to raise prices and add up. Yeah, some of those people are paying for it. That's what you're seeing with Icon now, right? Icon is booking through 2026. They opened it up and the prices are nuts because people are paying for it. So God bless them. They're a company. They're trying to make money. I get it. I have no problem with them trying to make money. And it's up to us, right? It's always up to the consumer to regulate that. And the problem is most of the time we don't. We just continue to go and pay. It's just like trying to go to like a sporting event, right? If I wanted to go to an Eagles game or a Sixers game, that's a great example too, right? I had season tickets to the Sixers when they were in the process before they got good, right? Or better, I should say. And I was paying like, I don't know, I was in like the 10th row and I had 2 seats and it was like $2,200 a year, which is great. The year they got good, it went up to $10,000, right? So like you can't, it's, and then it's, the onus is on us to like push back and say we're not going to do it, but we are, because we all love cruising and we're going to figure out a way to do it, and they're going to continue to make more money. So I get it, coming out of the pandemic, they're trying to get back, but once you go up, it's really hard to come back down. Those prices are not going to drop for a while. I also think, I also wish they had like just like an affordable option. Like I know like a lot of the baseball stadiums do like a $10 ticket for standing room only. So again, like if you told me I could get on the ship for $500 and stay in inside cabin, but that includes nothing except for the free food and water, I'm fine with that, because at least then it's like super reasonable and I can pick and choose the different options that I want. So top 3 bars on Seascape, Paul, great question. So where the sports bar is on Seascape is my favorite bar. That's like the best sports bar I've ever seen on a cruise ship. They have like these little booths that are round booths with like a giant screen TV in every one of those booths, and you can watch whatever you want on there, any sports channel you want. That bar is amazing. There's also a bar across from that. I think it's called the Cafe Bar. It's the Loft Bar. So where you're right in that thing, it's Times Square on Seascape. If you're coming this way, you're going to look down into the middle of the ship and see where the dueling pianos are. On the right is going to be the sports bar, and on the left is going to be that Loft Bar. Those are both great. My other favorite bar is on deck 8. right where the infinity pool is on the back. There's a little bar that ramps up there. That bar is great at night. I forget what that one's called. I'll look it up and send it to you. But those are my 3 favorite bars on Seascape. And then the chocolate bar. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong. They serve hot chocolate. They serve pots of tea. It's great at night if you're just like winding down. You want to like watch the dueling pianos. It's really fun. Yeah, Tony, right? $2,800. Tony, where are you at? For 2 seats, 20 game package. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Any other questions on board? We're going to wrap it up in a couple minutes. I'm going to figure out what's going on next here on the ship. I'm amazed this live worked really well. The internet has been spectacular on board here. So here's what we got going on next on the ship tonight. So we got a vodka tasting. Stay away from that. Texas Hold'em. There's a game show called Rock the Room. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll check that out. Little Mermaid is the outdoor movie. Are you Mets? Tony? That's even worse. The $2,800 for the Mets. What happened? What happened this year? There's another show. Remember when Rock was young? Then we got the Quest, the 1015. Can't wait for that. Yeah, Greg, I did a whole rant on the local about my feelings on local. I don't know why Norwegian messed with Oceans. Oceans is like a great concept. It's like you're a pub. It looks like a pub. There are darts in there. You can play darts. There's like some, the little game where you can try to win the money by getting through the keyhole that no one can ever do. You have a couple of like arcade games in there. It's got that perfect like pub feel to it. The food is very pub oriented. You go up to the bar. I always want to get like a Guinness at the bar. And then they convert it to the local, and it's like sterile and just awful. Yeah, Tony, I'm from Philly. Of course I'm a Phillies fan. I don't hate the Mets. I know a lot of people hate the Mets. I don't hate the Mets. I feel bad for you guys this year. Look, we're a weird team. The Phillies are a weird team. We have a really good lineup, and we can't win unless there's pressure on the game. But yes, I'm a Phillies fan, even though we lost in the World Series last year, but we weren't supposed to be there, so it's okay. I'll take it. But the Braves are very good this year. I admire the Braves. They're excellent. Yeah, Phillies fan, Eagles fan, Sixers fan. I'm sorry, I don't know what the Sixers thing is. It's just awful being a Sixers fan. So, yeah, I agree with you, Greg. The Oceans was one of my favorite spots. I still go to the local because it's open and the food's the same, but it's just weird. We did it on the Joy. I sat on the Joy. It's like there's just no fun in the local. The Oceans was such a fun night. But what can you do? I know Prima has the local. I will say it is a cool vibe on Prima. There's not a lot I love about that ship, but the local is really cool on there. But it's a little too fancy. It's like very like, it's like Brooklyn hipster joint. Not a sport. It doesn't really feel like a sports bar, but it's a cool room that it's in. That's how that whole ship feels. That whole ship has like a very Brooklyn hipster vibe to it. Yeah, Tony, that'd be awesome. I would love to do. We could do I won't wear my Philly stuff. I'll just come to the game. I don't know where the Giants fans are. You have our old coach out there from the Phillies. So Gabe's out there. But they're hanging on. Giants are hanging on, right? They're right there in that wild card spot. Fred, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Fred's wife's a Mets fan. There you go. Fred's a Giants fan. There you go. Great. All right, everyone. I really appreciate everybody coming out. I'm glad that this worked. I couldn't get the chat thing to work again, but I didn't. This is a completely different computer, so I knew I was going to be winging it. So yeah, all good. But thank you, everyone. Hopefully this was a decent experience and it wasn't too choppy or anything. I can't tell. So hope you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it. If you put you can, again, if you want to be in the book drawer and your name was on there, you're in. If your name was not on there and you want to be in the book thing, shoot me an email and I'll add you to it. I'm still reading the book, so it's good. It's pretty good so far. About 2/3 of the way through. So everybody have a wonderful night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see everyone next Wednesday. Vlogs will start tomorrow. So anybody else have any? Oh, one more question. Jimmy C. After 6 times with MCL, think you're done. Would you suggest out of New York any? Yeah, go on Royal. Try some Royal cruises. I mean, you can go on Royal right out of Bayonne, and you could try MSC if you want out of Brooklyn. But yeah, Jimmy, shoot me an email. I'll make you some recommendations for some Royal cruises. Symphony's going to be up in Bayonne. That'll be a great one. Go Brewers. We got a Brewers fan in there. Good job, Richard. All right, everyone. Like I said, have a wonderful night, and we'll see y'all next week. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of the week. Thomas, definitely let's talk about Panama. We can talk about Panama Canal next week. Remind me in the beginning of the live stream. Thank you, Paul. I'm glad it worked. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see everybody next week.